Hi, my name is Leanne Poston, and this video is to explain to you why I feel my method of instruction for feedback follows the Andragogy principles. Andragogy is a theory of teaching. It's more of a philosophy. It describes a transactional method of education. It's not really meant to be prescriptive or to tell you how to teach, but it's kind of a way of going about it. I think of it as one end is andragogy, the other end is pedagogy, and most of us are somewhere in between on a day-to-day basis. Pedagogy is what we're used to. It's when the instructor determines what we're going to teach, why we're going to teach it, what methods of instruction we're going to use, and how we're going to test. With andragogy, you have a more of an adult style of learning. Nolis mentioned that adults frequently, when they're taking evening classes, will withdraw from classes because they are used to making their own decisions. They're used to finding information when it's important to them and when they need to know it. To be in a classroom where someone else is going to tell you where you're going to learn, what you're going to learn, how you're going to learn it, at what pace you're going to learn it, and how you're going to be tested on it, doesn't really work for them anymore. So with andragogy, we have to focus on the main concepts of need to know, a learner's self-concept, a role of experience, readiness to learn, orientation to learning, and learning motivation. So as far as a need to know, how would I know that feedback would be a good topic for an instructional video, followed by a video made by students, followed by a longitudinal curriculum? As the Assistant Dean of Career Services, I do have an advisory group made up of a fourth year, third year, second year, first year medical student, as well as some students that contribute on professionalism and academics. All of them provide input to me on what are issues in medical school, what they feel like they need help with, and what topics it would benefit them to know more about. In addition, I've met with all of the department chairs and faculty to find out what it is that they feel are important concepts. Feedback repeatedly comes up. Feedback is something we do on a daily basis. We give it, receive it all the time. Sometimes we're good at it, sometimes we're bad at it, sometimes we don't even know we're doing it, but we can all improve at it. So medical students, when they come in, they are, first of all, part of an active curriculum, sometimes for the first time. With this active curriculum, it's very important that they provide feedback to their peers, as well as feedback to their instructors. Sometimes medical students, and students in general, think that providing feedback to instructors is telling them what they did wrong in a not so nice way. It's not very professional, and it's not ideal to when you later have to ask your future colleague for a letter of recommendation when that was your style of providing feedback. So it's behooving medical students to learn from the very start what feedback is and how to give it appropriately. But on the other side, during their third year, which is their clerkship year, the clerkship coordinators and directors will be evaluating them as they take care of patients for the first time. They'll be evaluated on both their interpersonal skills as well as their professionalism. They're going to constantly be given feedback from both their preceptors, faculty members, as well as patients. To be able to accept that feedback, take what they need from it, and learn from it, as well as provide feedback to those who are educating them, is going to be very important. So as you can see, feedback as a topic is important to know. Students are going to be well aware of the need to know it, and they're going to be in an environment where it's going to be important for them to know it. In addition to that, residency is very competitive for medical students trying to get into the residency of their choice. These third-year clerkship comments are copied and pasted into a document called the MSPE. This MSPE, or Medical Student Performance Evaluation, is sent to all of the residency program directors, and it talks about the students, mostly their interpersonal skills and their professionalism. Students would like this document to be as positive as possible, because that's going to help them get into a residency program that they're interested in. Learning how to effectively give feedback will help them make sure that they are careful when they both receive feedback and they give feedback. So how are we going to teach it? and follow this Andragogy method. First of all, I'll be recording an instructional video on how to give and receive feedback. It will provide a technique as well as explaining the importance of feedback and the importance as far as interpersonal skills, professionalism, and the competition for getting into residency. My focus group of medical students saw the need to both write, direct, and star in a video on giving and receiving feedback. It was a resident providing poor feedback to a medical student, and then another resident providing good feedback, modeling that behavior. We're going to show that video during orientation so students know upfront what we mean by feedback. Feedback must be given in a timely manner by appropriate person, keeping in mind that you have to be confidential and you have to be respectful that the person who is receiving the feedback probably isn't going to be wanting to receive it. You've got to be very specific, and it's got to be an action, not something that's part of the person's character. You've got to provide alternatives, and you've got to follow up with them. All of those will be explained in our instructional video, and it will be demonstrated in the student video. And finally, we'll have longitudinal curriculum. It's going to be made up of 3 fourth years, third years, second years, first years, and a preceptor. Each one is going to bring their own experience. It's not going to have a didactic curriculum. It's going to be based on case study. Each student with their own experience, as well as the preceptor faculty member with their experience, is going to be able to contribute to the case study in a different way. The hopes is over a 4-year curriculum of looking at these case studies and evaluating them from their level of experience, that everyone will be able to learn from each other and be able to see different ways to handle things, as well as different perspectives and different ways of looking at things. So hopefully this method of providing an instructional video, along with an optional video demonstrating the technique, as well as a required longitudinal curriculum, because no matter what other experience you have giving feedback, you haven't been a medical student yet, will show that it does follow the adult learning theory. Students are in a need to know. It is going to contribute to their self-concept. It's going to be important for them to learn. I will take advantage of the role of their experience. Knowing that it's going to make them a more competitive applicant for residency will certainly make them ready to learn. They will be in an environment where they will be oriented towards learning and will get to benefit from their peers as well as a facilitator, and will be motivated because they'll want to provide the best comments possible for their MSPE. Well, I hope this video was helpful.